Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. For the last 2 days, we've been using this really fun Hitmonlee team, so we'll be playing one more episode with it today. We're actually up against a top 100 ranked player for the first game, so that's pretty exciting, and they've got a pretty scary team here too. Dual Weather with Tyranitar, Torkoal, potential EQ Gyarados into Weakness Policy on the Tyranitar, so you gotta watch out for that. No terrain control though, so NDD is free to have some fun. I feel like Dracozolt's probably best here because of the White Herb. I could just go with Venu as well, but Dracozolt can set up the electric terrain, so I don't have to worry as much about the Venusaur. Plus I have max Airstream. So what do I want to go with? The alternative is just leading Dragapult to NDD and just going for like Helping Hand, Wormwind turn 1. I think that's actually a decent combination as well. So it's between Dragapult and Dracozolt, but I don't know, with White Herb, yeah, I kind of like the Dracozolt here. I'm going to try out Dracozolt NDD. Actually, no, Dracozolt NDD doesn't seem great, because I want that terrain later in the end game. So I think Dracozolt Incineroar, given that my opponent's team is rather physically oriented, with NDD and Hitmonlee in the back. So NDD and Hitmonlee actually do pretty good damage into my opponent's team, right? The only thing that resists, or there are two things that resist Expanding Force or Immune, I should say, in Incineroar and Tyranitar, but Hitmonlee kind of chunks on those. So yeah, let's get into the first game of today's episode. You can find this team as a rental code linked in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys as always for watching Road to Rank. Question of the day, I'm curious if any of you watched WBE at all. Yet it is a VGC draft league for those that don't know. There's also a singles version of it, which I participated in previously, but I am playing the VGC version this time around. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of. So yeah, if you haven't, definitely check out last week's battle. And then tomorrow we'll be having our week 2 battle, which should be exciting as well. So yeah. Okay, Incin and Tyranitar. So our White Herb, plays a pivotal role here. I wonder if I just want to switch out Incineroar into Hitmonlee like immediately. Unfortunately, we don't have Max Quake, but we have Max Wormwind. Got the White Herb here. I don't know, I mean, Max Lightning into the Incineroar slot is pretty safe. There's no electric switch-ins other than Venusaur. But I should probably lower my opponent's attack first, right? Unless the Incineroar switches out into Togekiss. That is a possibility, which would be pretty bad for us. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go for Max Lightning and then switch out into the... Do I want to Max Lightning? Attack decrease would be really nice here, honestly. Okay, I'm going to Wormwind and switch out into Hitmonlee outright to conserve more Intimidates. I think part of my problem in playing with this team is I'm not doing super well with the Incineroar. Like, I'm getting used to the whole Flare Blitz, Snarl Protect option. Okay, they stay in. If they're staying in, it's probably just a Parting Shot, right? So I could have gone, like, Fake Out Max Lightning. Like, Parting Shot here does kind of suck. But if I had Max Quake, yeah, I think, I'd probably just Max Quake into the Incineroar slot. Maybe they fake out into my Incineroar slot. But either way, Tyranitar's at -2. And if they committed Dynamax early, that'd be great. I could see them going for Lash Out here. Yeah, they don't max, which I think is a great call on their end. And you can see without Life Orb, Dracozolt becomes a little bit weaker as we're not able to pick up the knockout there, unfortunately. Okay. Yep, it's buried. It's fine. Yeah, part of my problem is that Incineroar just doesn't provide any damage offense. Or damage output. Damage offense. Okay, they just Rock Slide. And U-turn. Okay, that's okay. Not a great turn 1. I mean, it would have been... I don't know what the better play is to make there, though. And this is where Dragapult could have been helpful, because if I had Dragapult, I could just Helping Hand, like, not Phantasm, Wormwind into Incineroar turn 1. So maybe I should have gone with the Dragapult route. Venusaur comes in. Interesting. Okay. I'm worried about Life Orb max and then you just Max Quake. That could be a big problem. I think I'm just going to go for Airstream here on a Venusaur. Because I think that's going to be the max option. And I think, like, Hitmonlee beats Tyranitar at this point. So I'm going to go out into Incineroar here. And Max Airstream. I could have also, I don't know, max guarded, switch in the Indeedee, and then follow me the subsequent turn. But I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Because, like, then Venusaur can just max guard on its third turn. This is a tricky matchup. I like that turn 1 play by my opponent, and I think leading Dragapult might have been better. If I lead Dragapult, yeah, that probably would have been the move. I think now you bring in Torkoal. Oh, they actually bring out the Incineroar. Okay, that makes sense. You got another Intimidate off. It'd be great to see, like, Venusaur prioritize the Hitmonlee here, recognizing, like, Hitmonlee beats the Tyranitar, but we'll see. Either way, though, it means Venusaur isn't Sun boosted, although I guess it doesn't necessarily need it right now. But I get my Incineroar out, which means I have faster Fake Out next turn. I also pressure Venu with a Flare Blitz, which is nice. Let's see. Yep, they're gonna max. Okay. I don't... Does Life Orb Max Quick one-shot us? Because if so, that's really bad. If it doesn't, though, we get the Airstream off, then the Venusaur is just going to be in KO range from a Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz and Sun, I guess I should say. I don't know if a regular Flare Blitz would knock out. Although, we did not get intimidated on Incineroar. Oh, they actually max guard. Huh. Okay. Well, that makes sense. You waste a turn to my max that way. Interesting. Not what I was expecting there. Torkoal's definitely my opponent's last one. So, I mean, here I could max guard Flare Blitz. I don't like that too much, though. I think just going for Airstream Flare Blitz here is okay. Although I guess Incineroar probably fakes out into my Incineroar here, right? Do you have Max Quake then? I think if you're max guarding there, you're likely to not have Protect, like Sleep Powder, Earth Power, Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb. I don't know the item on Venusaur, but given that you have a Tyranitar on the team, I doubt it's Focus Sash. So I guess, and it's not gonna be Assault Vest, so I guess Life Orb is rather likely here. Wow, they offered the Vine Lash instead. Interesting. Okay. And they obviously just want the residual effects here, right? Which makes a lot of sense, and it is Life Orb. But it does mean I get an Airstream off here. However, it is Intimidated Airstream. It's pretty good damage, actually, I gotta say. Yeah. I guess what my opponent was thinking is that, you know, I'm probably not picking up a knockout there anyway with, like, Max Quake. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Dracozolt's now faster, though, right? Which means I do get a powerful Aerial Ace before fainting. Gonna be taking a lot of residual damage now with Sand and Vine Lash. However, I think one more little bit chip puts Incineroar in berry range. So Aerial Ace into Venusaur and Flare Blitz here is kind of nice, I think. Yeah. Oh, I could actually Protect here just to get my berry activated. Huh. That actually might be worth it. Venu's already committed 2 turns of max, too. Yeah, I like the idea of having... Okay, what if my opponent just... I mean, Aerial Ace isn't going to knock out the Venusaur, which is part of the problem, right? And I think my opponent's going to have Torkoal as the last one. I like the idea of protecting here. It is kind of punishable, though. Oh, wait. Yeah, they could just go Torkoal and Max Quake into Dracozolt. Although I think you have to respect Incineroar as the bigger threat here, but that would have been a reason to just Flare Blitz. We'll see if they Quaked. I just think, like, since Incineroars almost never carry Protect, this is actually decently safe to go for. Yeah, so they had Max Quake. Ah, yeah. I don't know, I really thought they'd have to respect the Flare Blitz there. But they didn't. We get punished for it, unfortunately. Well played, well played. Because if I just Flare Blitz there, then it's Indeedee, Hitmonlee, Incineroar against Torkoal, Incineroar. And then, like, dealing with Torkoal is still kind of tricky, I guess. Although I do have Expanding Force into it. But that was a nice read by my opponent, yeah. I'm just surprised because, like, you know, Incineroars often carry, like, very rarely carry Protect. And I thought, like, they'd have to respect the Flare Blitz option because, like, that's going to KO your Venusaur. So, I don't really regret that play. I think it does work out quite frequently against many such scenarios. But at least I can bring in Indeedee now. And given that Venusaur does have Earth Power, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sleep Powder. So I don't think it's going to have Protect. So I think here, just go for Expanding Force. Because Hitmonlee is the late game win con if I knock out the Venusaur. Like, I think Expanding Force Snarl here is fine. Yeah. That was a frustrating turn, though, because if I knock out the Venusaur, I should have just played it safer, I guess, and gone for a double up onto Venusaur. I thought one play Venusaur could go for is like a max guard there, but I guess whether I protect or not doesn't really accomplish anything in that scenario anyway. I really thought, like, I mean, like, Flare Blitz and Sun is going to knock out the Venusaur. Whoa, it got super colorful in the webcam. Flare Blitz and Sun's going to KO Venusaur, whereas Intimidated Aerial Ace isn't going to knock out, so, yeah. I don't know if my opponent was just making, like, a super big read there, or whether they, you know, were just, like, didn't really care about the Incineroar. But either way, ends up being a great play from their end. We get punished for it, unfortunately. Okay, he's just going to Earth Power. It's also frustrating because, yeah, I could have protected here, right, if I switched it up last turn. Actually, with the expanding, like, the problem is the Vine Lash damage, too, just compounding. Oh, that is a bulky. That's probably a Solve Vest Torkoal, actually. Yeah, so Hitmonlee I don't think will be enough to finish this one off. Unless Heat Wave misses, but no, it doesn't. Oh, that actually doesn't KO us, though. Okay, 41 down to 2017. So we're going to Faint next turn. Get the Hitmonlee back in. That beats Tyranitar. It also beats Incineroar. I've got Super Effective Rock Slide. Maybe Hitmonlee can pull some magic off here. Maybe. Although Hitmonlee's defense is really bad, so a Flare Blitz, as you know, we saw from yesterday's episode, would just KO us. They do bring out Tyranitar, though, huh? That makes sense. I mean, you don't want to bring in Incineroar when you can't Fake Out, I guess. But it does mean I don't get intimidated, though. Yeah, I think. Let's see. It's the last turn of Vine Lash, so all you have to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure here. I think the only way we can win is Expanding Force and Rock Slide. It should be Assault Vest Torkoal. So just hope Tyranitar protects, KO the Torkoal. Yep. And then you can't intimidate us. But then the problem is after a close combat, I probably just Faint Tie their Pokemon. I don't even know if Rock Slide Expanding Force KOs here. It was a close one for sure, though. Yeah, I think we're going to fall just short of the knockout, unfortunately. You can Flinch. Flinch would always be huge. Let's see. Is that enough? I think it's going to hang on with like 5%. Yeah. Earth Power into Hitmonlee is the correct play. It doesn't do much, though. Now the problem is I've just taken too much damage with Hitmonlee. I can't knock out both Pokemon. So I made the correct play there, but nothing we could really do. Yeah, I need to at least like avoid taking damage this turn. Close game, close game. I think like my opponent just made that really crazy read of targeting the Dracozolt. And I'm wondering if I just attack with both there, maybe we would have just been fine. Because if Venusaur goes down, I just get Hitmonlee out. But I think part of the problem is that Incineroar on this team just doesn't put on any offensive pressure. Not that I guess Incineroars normally do, but I'm kind of limited. Like, the main offense from this team comes from using the Max Mons really well. And I feel like I didn't use the Max Mons really well in this game. Okay. We can hope for our opponent to throw, and for some reason forget Psychic Terrain is up and click Fake Out with Incineroar. That's the win con. This was so close, though. It was close. Oh, it was Sashtar anyway. Okay, given that it was Sashtar, never mind. We never had a chance. Very well played. Yeah, Sashtar makes this infinitely more difficult because it doesn't, like, it means that the Hitmonlee late game win con isn't actually, like, super easy to pull off. Yeah. I think my opponent just played a really nice game there. And I think if I were to change it up, I'd probably just lead Dragapult. Because if I lead Dragapult turn 1, I guess Helping Hand Wormwood isn't super safe, though, because I have to worry about Lash Out from Tyranitar. And given that it's Sashtar, like, it's most likely Tyranitar that doesn't want to max most of the time, and so I think, like, it having Lash Out is definitely within reason. Yeah. The only play I really regret is, like, the Protect on Incineroar Aerial Ways play. Even if I get that off, though, I don't know. Given that Tyranitar sashed and Hitmonlee's defense isn't that good, we don't have great late game offense because like Indeedee it can't touch Tyranitar or the Incineroar. So maybe I needed to be bringing Togekiss, because like at least Togekiss can dazzle into those, which you know is actually a fair amount of damage. So yeah, and I needed to get more mileage out of the Maxmon here, right? Like Dracozolt felt pretty nice into my opponent's team, but they're not gonna be bringing Gyarados into a Dracozolt matchup. So I think like I should play with the information. Like it's a lot scarier for them to bring Togekiss and Gyarados into that matchup, and so with those out of the way, I don't know, Dragapult I think can thrive a little bit more. So. Close game, though. Definitely a close one. But, yeah, I think just well executed on my opponent's end. What else could I have done better? I think Venusaur is very scary to go up against. I mean, that Pokemon is crazy in Best of 1. And my opponent executed nicely. The Max Guard... Whoa! Mono Fire. Oh, boy. Okay. I mean, you know, this is scary because this is like a really strong, honestly. That's awesome. That was honestly awesome. I feel like it's about redirection. Redirection plus Dracozolt. Because Dracozolt could really pick up some one-hit KOs in this matchup. Plus I've got Rock Slide with this bad guy. So like, Dracozolt. Incin, because I could fake out Talonflame that way. Yeah, and then Hitmonlee and Indeedee in the back. Alright, we're going all in on the Dracozolt train today. I can't help but think I could have played that last one better. Was leading Dracozolt the correct play? I don't know, into my opponent's team it seemed pretty good. But the problem is not being able to one-hit KO Pokemon on turn 1, because Dracozolt really wants to like pick up big knockouts immediately. So maybe I could have just gone like Indeedee Dracozolt and then Helping Hand Wormwind turn 1. Because if I pick up a knockout onto Incineroar, the game changes drastically, I would say. Because Dracozolt really needs to utilize all 3 turns of its Dynamax as effectively as possible. And I don't think I did that in the last game. Okay, Incineroar Cinderace. Well, I get the Intimidate off on the opposing Cinderace. I could always fake out into Incineroar. I probably want to switch out my Incineroar, though, to be frank. And max Airstream. That's an interesting option. It's the same problem, though. I can't one-shot Incineroar. I don't really want to switch into either of these, to be honest, actually. Maybe just going for max Wormwind. I could Steel Spike. Nah, you would never Steel Spike here. Wait, I was going to ask if they have any Fairy switch-ins, but no, it's all Fire Pokemon, so obviously not. Yeah, I think just max Wormwinding here, and I kind of want to Flare Blitz here. Does Incineroar just fake out, though? Maybe. Actually, I think Protect holds more value here. See if they switch out. I feel like the Incineroar I need to play better with. Okay, they swap out Incineroar. That makes sense. Into Chandelure, okay. Should max Cinderace here, right? Yeah. Yeah, then, I mean, the Flare Blitz play I wanted to go for there would have made sense. Then I was worried about fake out max Knuckle into the Incineroar slot. Like, that's a lot of free damage. And at what cost? It's G-Max Cinderace, so it can't set up the Sun, interestingly enough, but I guess with the Torkoal on the team, you don't really need to set up the Sun. Huh. What do I want to do this next turn? Airstream, most likely, into Snarl. Well, I think the bright side is that Dracozolt shouldn't take very much from an intimidated Max Cinderace turn 1. I'd expect Knuckle into the Incin here. We'll see. Obviously, Hitmonlee is actually really good with Rock Slide in this late game. Okay, yeah, there's Knuckle. So, I mean, like, Flare Blitz could have been nicer, like, because maybe we could just knock out the Cinderace. So that did 37 damage. So another one shouldn't KO us. Yeah, he's Life Orb as well. Okay. I wonder if Max Whirlwind Flare Blitz would have just picked up the knockout. I think it would have. Yeah, it would have been close. Actually, I think he'd probably... Like, Cinderace would probably be, like, 1 damage tick away from getting knocked out from that. I like the idea of Airstreaming here in a Cinderace, especially if they Knuckle again. So I think Airstream Snarl here is fine. Yeah. This is a scary... I mean, like... You see a mono-type team in Team Preview, and you're like, ah, like, it's mono-type, I'm gonna win for sure. But, like, Fire is, like, very, very scary, and it's like, you know, all it takes is your opponent to... Like, I think if you use a mono-type team, you're obviously at a disadvantage, but it's really cool to see one come out here. They do go for Steel Spike. Okay. Into Incineroar. Well, it's not gonna do too much. Yeah, I mean, what's Chandelure doing here? Because, like, I'll get the speed boost now. I don't think Airstream into Snarl KOs the Cinderace, unfortunately. It's just Burning Jealousy. But that's fine. Because you go first. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Dracozolt gets the Airstream off. Yeah, it's bulky. That's why I was thinking of Flare Blitzing last turn. But, yeah, Cinderace, like, Fire... I mean, my opponent's team just doesn't have much for Dracozolt, to be honest. But what they're going for is basically stalling out, I think, the Dynamax and then going from there. So we get a nice Snarl off. Let's see, Hitmonlee, NDD in the back. I don't really need to set up the terrain. I think just Airstream. Or actually, do we need an Airstream again? I don't think so. Are you gonna have Protect on Cinderace? Unlikely. Lightning into Snarl here is fine, I think. Because I'm worried about Burning Jealousy. Oh, but I guess the Incineroar Snarling anyway, right? But I don't think we... I mean, Dracozolt outspeeds my opponent's entire team at this point. Okay. I mean, Chandelure's not doing anything against Incineroar. Like, part of the reason why Chandelure usage has fallen off is because of the introduction of Incineroar. Oh, okay, we're still slower. Nice. Well, that ended up working out nicely. Perfect. That's a lot of damage, too. Nice. And that's at -2 special attack. You can bring out the Incineroar, but that's fine. Glad to see Dracozolt put in some more work in this one. Yeah, I think, I don't know, NDD Dracozolt might have been the move in that last match. Okay, so this thing comes out from my opponent. Chandelure's at -2 special attack, so that's not really doing very much. If I had Parting Shot, to consider going for it right now, but alas, we do not. Incineroar is not going to be really much of a threat to me at all. Just want to control terrain, I think, ideally. So I think here, just Aerial Ace into Snarl is fine. Yeah, the Chandelure doesn't really pressure me at all. I don't want to switch out because I don't want to break my Sash on the NDD, and as we learned yesterday, Hitmonlee's defense is not very good, so don't want it to just get dunked on either. Okay, Fake Out. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, are they Trick Rooming now? Maybe. That's what it looked like. But Snarl just picks up the knockout. Okay. So, I would expect Talonflame as the last one. Yeah, Mono Fire into Dracozolt's a pretty rough matchup for my opponent. But they played well. I mean, they did what they could, honestly. I think, if anything, maybe you should try to go with Trick Room. No, it's Volcarona. Okay. So with Volk being the last one, yeah, Hitmonlee obviously wraps this up, so I think just Aerial Ace into Flare Blitz here is fine. And then NDD, we just bring out NDD Hitmonlee and just, like, follow me Rock Slide, and that should be game. Mono Fire, though, that's cool. That's cool. Good damage. Could have gone for Bolt Beak, but I'm not trying to risk it here. Quiver Dance comes out, but that's fine. Hitmonlee still outspeeds with Unburden in the late game. So, yeah. We should be fine here. I mean, Flare Blitz outright might just pick up a knockout, but we are intimidated, so maybe I'll survive. Yeah, hangs on with a little bit. Okay. And you turn into Zolt. That's fine. I don't even know if Flare Blitz or Heat Wave KOs here. I think we just double up onto the Volk. once again, with Hitmonlee and Indeedee in the back, there's nothing my opponent can really do here. It's pretty much like a checkmate. But I gotta say, it's cool to go up against a mono Struggle Bug. Oh, I actually almost picked up the double KO. Yeah, it's cool to go up against a mono type team. I think like Fire, Steel, Flying are all pretty interesting options. Fairy as well. Water, I actually have to... how could I not mention that after I won that tournament? The near mono water type team, which was super cool to see. I will say I really like Aerial Ace as a option on Dracozolt because it means his Pokemon isn't completely useless after maxing. Or not completely useless. I mean, Dracozolt like is so good 80% of the time out of max, but it's just so risky. You don't want to induce that variance. So Aerial Ace gives you like a consistent option to do damage, you know. But resilient fight from my opponent. Much respect. Okay, so let's just bring out Hitmonlee, and yeah, we can just close combat and dunk the Incineroar. Okay. You know, I actually should have played this a little bit more carefully by bringing Indeedee out first. And then just chip away, because, yeah, in the off, I don't think Incineroar survives the close combat, but if it does, I mean, I think we're probably still fine, because we just cycle the Incineroar out and back in, we have Intimidate and Flare Blitz, so I actually don't think there was any way to actually lose that. But I was like, you know, Instance Flare Blitz will KO us in return, and that's scary. I respect the Mono Fire, though. I was surprised not to see the Tailwind option, because I was thinking one way you could approach that matchup for my opponent is you just go Talonflame Cinderace, and you just overwhelm me with Cinderace. But I guess they probably weren't expecting the Airstream on the Dracozolt, and then for us to just outspeed afterwards. That would make some sense. But yeah, let's look for our third match of the day. I think one thing I will say that's really exciting about this team is that I bring Hitmonlee. I think I brought Hitmonlee to almost every game, if not every game that we played with it. Which is cool, because this is not a Pokemon that we see very often at all. So I think that's exciting to be able to do. Oh man. These Sun teams are just like so common and like, I don't know, they're really scary to play against, especially against like high ladder opponents. We ran into the same problem in the first game, right? It was Incin, T-Tar lead, Venu, Torkoal in the back. The exact same 4 Pokemon. Well, I mean, how do I play around that? How do I play around that? Do I want to try out Indeedee Hitmonlee as a lead? Because I just pressure with close combat expanding force. I haven't led this yet, and honestly, I kind of want to give it a go because I always max so early with this team. And I feel like maybe the secret sauce is to conserve my max for the late game. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I want to bring in Incineroar here, but it just didn't do enough for me in that last game. It does pressure Venusaur with the Flare Blitz, though, and like, that was a potential play I could have made. The other question is, who do I max? Thinking Polt. Okay, let's go Polt. Last time we brought Zolt. I'm just gonna try to change up my game plan a little bit because we went up against a similar team in the first game, and I really need to learn how to beat this comp like effectively. I'm gonna go Togekiss. I'm just changing up my strategy here because it's a similar team composition to the first game. I don't really feel like I don't feel like I made like poor plays per se in that first game, but I also feel like I was just kind of limited by all my options. So I just want to try something new. Sometimes just switching up like your composition just to figure out like how a new mode can work playstyle wise is very effective. And this is perfect. Yeah, my opponent ends up leading Incineroar Tyranitar. So it's like the same lead from that first match. Okay, so I mean I get it. But part of the problem is like maybe Hitmonlee should be a late game option, not an early game option. I mean, here I'm going to be honest, I just want a Helping Hand close combat into Incineroar to get that out of the way. Because I think like Tyranitar is in such an awful spot here. I don't know if do we one-shot Incineroar? I would think so, but... Tyranitar is a really big threat to the 2 Pokemon I have in the back. So, like, does my opponent actually attack with Tyranitar? I think that's relatively unlikely. I'm going to try the Helping Hand close combat play here. Because I think Tyranitar is really nervous about being in front of Hitmonlee. Yep, okay, so that's a good start. Venusaur? No, that's Togekiss. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if we could just knock out the Incineroar Torkoal, that's a great start. It's a great, great start. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, I'm so sad. Even made the right call with the leads. Yeah, actually, it'd protect too. Ugh. Well, that's not great. It's not great at all. However, this means they're not committed to Sun. So I kind of want to just Expanding Force and Rock Slide here. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, with Protect, that play was super safe on my opponent's end. Unfortunate. It's funny, I get punished in the first game for trying to use my Protect, and then in this game, my opponent ends up having it. So, unlucky. Oh. The only other play I could have made was Expanding Force there. Maybe that would have been bad. I don't know. Close combat, Expanding Force. I don't regret the play there, though. I mean, Protect on Incineroar is not that common. If I get that knockout turn 1, we're actually in really good shape, I think. And we miss Rock Slide. Ugh. Rough day. Rough day. Like, the little bit of chip damage is actually pretty important in, you know, a late game Togekiss damage. I would probably just get double KO'd here. Oh, Hitmonlee actually survives, though. Nice. That's impressive. Did I want to survive? I don't know. And they parting shot, too. That's actually really good. I was thinking we were a potential risk of just eating up a double KO here, but this means that Togekiss spends 2 turns to knock out Hitmonlee, right? I'm still faster this next turn, too, so I can Protect with the Indeedee and just go for another Rock Slide. I'm chipping away at the Togekiss a fair amount. And like I said, this time around I'll have my Dynamax in the late game. What is that? That's Cinderace. Cinderace? Wow, really? Regular Cinderace. Okay, I didn't expect that. I think this turn is a very clear-cut play where I Protect Indeedee and just Rock Slide. They can't Sucker Punch because terrain is still up. Oh, I could even Close Combat, actually, but... Wait. I think Close Combat might be stronger here, because Cinderace still is scary given what's in the back. Rock Slide doesn't do very much here anyway. I could Helping Hand Rock. Oh, I could Helping Hand Close Combat. But then if they crit Indeedee, that's just, what, a double KO? Okay, I'm going to Close Combat Protect here. Because I think Dragapult is the win con at this point. Because Togekiss's max is going to end after next... Like, I can just bring in Dragapult, Helping Hand, Steel Spike. Was Helping Hand the play there? I don't know. It's just... I think it's probably Crit Kiss, and that's what I'm really nervous about. Yeah, Airstream. I think that would have been a knockout. Yep. I don't know. Just can't risk it. Because Hitmonlee's fainting from Sand here. Yeah, Pyro Ball into Protect. Makes sense. Well, at least the lead worked, honestly. It was better than what we brought in that first game. I'm just thinking now, do I want to bring in Togekiss instead of Dragapult? But no, I think Dragapult's the play. Yeah, because I do have Steel Spike on this thing. And then I've got... I think I just give up the Indeedee here. I have to KO Togekiss here, so I think Max, Steel Spike, and follow me here. Let's say I picked up the knockout onto Cinderace last turn, then I have Togekiss Dragapult against my opponent's Kiss. And it can just crit my Dragapult for a KO. I think I kind of needed the redirection here. It was just unfortunate that turn 1, man. Yeah, great play on their end, and that's why Protect Incineroar has value. Feels bad because I didn't get to like get much mileage off it. And then we get dunked on it in game 3, but I'm just clearly not using it very well. Okay, so we know Incineroar Tyranitar's in the back from my opponent, so they didn't bring Sun in this mode. I've got Steel Spike on Dragapult, which I'm not sure they're expecting. Cinderace will outspeed us, so we'll probably get like an Iron Head off, but we have Protect on the Togekiss, which is really valuable. It's going to be a really close finish, I think. And it might come off whether we crit or not with Togekiss. I like my position this time more than the first game, though, I have to say. And that's even off a terrible turn 1. Okay, so just follow me. Oh, Cinderace is faster now. Oh. That's so bad. I should have seen that from the sand damage. Ah, I messed that up then. Okay, let's see if they crit. Well, we don't get crit, but... I wouldn't have seen that from the sand damage. Well, no, they did Pyro Ball last turn, so I would have seen it, yeah. Thought Togekiss would be EV to outspeed there. I end up taking too much damage with Dragapult, so I think that's going to be a loss then. So I could have brought out my own Togekiss, but the thing is, my own Togekiss, I don't think one-shots the opposing Togekiss, which is the problem. Yeah, I'm one turn away from fainting from sand now. Ah, man. Unless my opponent... No, I mean, there's no way around this, I don't think. Well, high jump kick. They just bring out Incineroar. That's why I needed that Rock Slide damage onto it, too, so I could Worm Wind into that slot. And that would be a KO. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Cinderace to be faster there. I guess that's not super surprising, because you do need a lot of speed investment to outspeed. Although, in this day and age, I think it is surprising to see Cinderace be slower. Wait, did they? Hold on. Did they speed tie? Because didn't Togekiss go before the Cinderace last time? So the Airstream just gave both of those a speed tie, a speed boost. Wait, is it actually a speed tie? Hold on, I gotta think about this. I gotta rewatch it. What in the world? Okay. Well, I think we're done for now. I mean, we took too much damage. Wait, yeah, right? Because, like... maybe I'm going crazy? They could just fake out here. Wait. Psychic Terrain is up. Isn't it? Oh, no, they went for Misty Terrain. Never mind. I forgot about the Starfall. Yeah, that was a safe play. Am I going crazy? Because I swore the Togekiss outsped the Cinderace the first time around. Right, it Airstreamed and then Pyro Ball came out. So Airstream gives you the speed boost. Hold on. Oh, but then it's 1.5 and 2. So, yeah, it's not like the exact same calculation. But that's why I kind of got thrown off guard, because the Togekiss first outsped. Interesting. Okay. Well, that was kind of a big mistake then for assuming the Cinderace would just be outsped by the Togekiss. I don't think that's like a terrible assumption to make here either, but this is kind of like, you can see this episode highlights some of the downsides of Best of One, where like lack of information can really hurt. So I guess the correct play would have been to bring out Togekiss there and go for Follow Me, because then I can at least like take an attack from the opposing Togekiss, max Airstream. It's just so unfortunate the Incineroar had Protect there. Maybe I could have just gone for a knockout either, too. I don't know. These matchups were tricky. I don't feel like I play, like, exceptionally poor. And I don't, but, like, I don't know where, like, the rooms for making, like, huge plays were. I felt just kind of limited in this one, honestly, more than anything. But I gotta relook at the matchups and see what I could have done, because there's always more that could have been improved on. Yeah. I mean, if the Cinderace was slower than the Togekiss there, I actually think we would have been in a pretty good spot. Because then I knock out the Togekiss, I get the defense boost, your Cinderace doesn't do that much to me, I bring in the Togekiss myself, and then I can just go for a Follow Me with my own Togekiss, and then Dragapult has, you know, super effective attacks into everything. But, yeah, the Incineroar having Protect there ended up really costing us, because if not, we probably just knock out Incineroar and get an early, you know, 4-3 lead. So, yeah. And in this matchup, my opponent didn't bring Venusaur, so maybe Dracozolt would have been the move. Dracozolt just doesn't put on pressure against my opponent's leads. I don't know. And if it is Sashtar, like, even if I lead Indeedee and Dragapult, Helping Hand Steel Spike is pretty rough. So, doesn't feel like there was like a super safe opportunity, and it's more like I feel like after learning the information from this match, I feel a little bit more confident. But like, yeah, I think that's why these teams are really consistent, right? Like both the first and the third game, our opponent had like really strong compositions that are really tricky to predict in best of one, because there could be a Focus Sash on Tyranitar, there could be a Weakness Policy, there could be Life Orb, Focus Sash, or Assault Vest on Venusaur. You have to respect the Torkoal and Venusaur combination. And then the leads are tricky as well, so I don't know. I feel like I probably need to be getting more mileage. I even got the lead I wanted, which sucks, right? Like, I guess, like, turn 1, if I just Expanding Force Rock Slide, that's a lot better. So maybe I should just make the hard read into Tyranitar switching out there. And Incineroar... The thing is, like, Incineroar's never going to fake out there, obviously, so it's either going to just try to attack Hitmonlee or switch out. And it's like, if you don't have Protect there, you're in a pretty tough spot. But I guess if I could make one better play in this game, it would have been Expanding Force Close Combat. Or Expanding Force Rock Slide. That would have been huge. But even Close Combat into Tyranitar and Expanding Force is a pretty nice play, I think, in that slot. Because then Togekiss just takes so much damage where I don't think you can actually justify maxing it. And if we do that much damage, Cinderace can still max. That's scary. Yeah, tough teams to go up against. I think just great play from great opponents and some really scary matchups. So, I don't know. I got to think about it in terms of what I could have done better. But, yeah. So that's going to be it for this one. Slightly longer episode, but some fun games for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, please show your support by leaving a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, peace.